everyone, welcome to part 2 of our planner page. Yesterday we did the lily pads frog and the lily. If you missed that, I try and put a link at the top of the page to yesterday's video, but otherwise you can go to my YouTube homepage and hopefully you'll be able to find it. It'll be and it's in the planner direct playlist anyway. So what I thought I would do was some of the details around this area where we started. I thought that would be quite useful and fun. So I'm going to start with doing these leaves here. I want them to be quite a different colour to this, although still green. So I thought I would start with the hooker's green. Now hooker's green is usually a bluey green, or it is in polychromos. In the castles it's not quite such a strong blue colour if you have a look. So, but I think therefore it goes better next to the lily pad. And what I'm doing is putting some more layers down near to the lily pad, and then fading it towards the tip. Now this has two effects. Firstly, it makes it look like it is a bit more shadow near to the lily pad, which it would be, but also it just makes the leaf look like it's not the same colour all the way along, which again it probably wouldn't be. So we're going to obviously add another colour, or maybe two. I haven't quite decided yet. So I'm going to do all of these the same. I quite like doing it this way. You can, of course, mix it up a bit and not do them all the same, but I feel that it would be, they all look like they're the same leaf from the same sort of plant, and I find it's it can be a little bit easier doing them the same colour. You don't have to keep making colour choices, and say you decided I have a couple some colour and a couple something else, you have to then decide which are going to be which colour and try and make it look random and sort of natural, because we're colouring nature, without it looking too natural and random, and it can be a little bit tricky. I don't know if you know what I'm on about, but anyway, we're keeping them the same. I could keep the ones down here the same as well, and I am considering that, and it would add some sort of consistency from one side of the picture to the other as well, although I'm never sure whether although I sound very convincing, whether I'm just being a bit lazy. But I think I am going to do these the same, because it could look like they were from the same plant. But we'll make some things a bit different. It's a little bit of, I should use my brush. It's actually right here. Now, I'm trying to think of what to do for the tip. There we go. See, these look like they ought to really continue into here, but Johanna hasn't drawn anything in there. I think it would be quite confusion if she had, but I'm going to leave it. Now I'm going to go for something slightly lighter. Let's have a little look. What have we got? I don't want to go into my bluey greens, as I said. I think I know what I'm looking for. I'm looking for the castle green. There it is. So the castle green, let's just give it a sharpen. It's very blunt. So I wonder if some people sharpen all their pencils before they put them away. But sometimes I want a slightly blunter pencil, so because I'm never quite sure. This one's a little bit more bluey. That's okay. It's quite vibrant, isn't it? That's all right. We're not going to go all the way along. We're going to just do part of it. And we'll probably use the castle green light on the tips, and it would actually change the colour quite significantly. Well, I think so anyway. So yeah, so it's quite it's a nice day today. It was so cold this morning. I read this article yesterday, and it said if you turn on your boiler, there are some settings where you can set the temperature of the hot water and the radiators, and it said the one on the water no, it said if you turn them down a little bit, both of them, it can make a difference to your heating bill, but very little difference to how you'll notice the temperature. And it said the radiator one is just the temperature of the residual water around in your heating system, and it'll be fine. So, oh, okay. So I turned them down. Yesterday afternoon I was really cold. Now I didn't know whether it was just a change in the weather, or whether because we had a frost last night, or whether it's because the day before my son had been home and he had his computer on. His computer is a gaming computer, it generates loads of heat, and having two of us in the house obviously makes a difference. So I didn't know whether it was that. This morning I had a shower and the water wasn't as warm as normal. It was bearable, and but every time someone ran a tap in the other room, it went absolutely freezing. Now, running a tap while someone's in the shower does impact us. Castle green light. But I'm going to go over the whole thing from tip to base. It doesn't usually affect us that much. And I said to the children, they showered last night, I said, was the water cold last night? They went, yeah. And one said, I just assumed someone was running some water somewhere, which they weren't. And the other one said, yeah. And I said, why didn't you say anything? Well, I don't know. And so I warned my husband. He went and turned it up before he had his shower this morning. And it was also very cold when we got up this morning, much colder than you would expect, despite, I mean, it was frosty, but even so, it was, so that didn't work. So it's put that back. Because the idea is that I'm just trying to look for little ways to use less energy, so that you know, I think if everybody does that, then our demand as a country for energy will be a little bit lower. It will just generally help out at the moment when the supplies are a bit tricky, and also with the environment, of course, as well. And we have solar panels on our house, which is nice. But they're old, which means they aren't as efficient as they could be. But then no thing that you have in your house will be, because as soon as you buy it, it's old and less efficient. And so we have those, and these, I've decided I'm going to make them look like flowers. I have coloured a little tiny bit of green on there. I thought I could make them look like little flowers rather than leaves, and add a bit of colour. I'm going to try it. If you don't like it and you want them as leaves, by all means, don't do what I'm going to do. But I'm just going to have a go and see what happens. Do I use my favourite colours, which are getting a little bit short? No, I shall use a slightly longer colour. I'm going to do them purple. I think it'll go nicely with the pink flower up here and work with the orange. So I'm going to use my Ultramarine Violet to start with. And I'm going to try and make them look a little bit rounded. You'll see as I go. So I'm actually going to do the stem in the same colour. And just go around. I'm going to sort of ignore that bit. And go around and then fade towards the middle. Try and make it look like a sort of bud. I know it's a bit different, and if you, as I say, have a look and decide whether it's something you want to do, whether you just want to colour them as leaves. So anyway, yes, we have our solar panels, but they depend on the light. We get a bit of shade on our roof in the morning, which makes them a bit less good, but at lunchtime they do well. You can see I have tried to make it a little bit lighter in the middle than on the edges to give it a little bit of shape, and I will use a lighter colour in a bit as well, but we'll just do all three of them first. It's quite a bluey green, this, isn't it? It is ultramarine after all, but it's ultramarine violet, so I thought it might be slightly more purpley, but that's fine. I like the colour. It's just a bit different to what I imagined. Again, it's the advantages of swatching and getting to know your colours, you know. So I purposely picked one I hadn't used very much, so I didn't know the colour so well. But I think we all have colours that we use less than others. And I was going to use my Castle Lake Deep, which is my absolutely favourite colour in this set, but I decided when I looked at how short it's getting compared to the rest that I would use something different. Trying to preserve it. I think I have another one somewhere, but that's not, it's only two. Now, do I do a light blue or a light purple? Do I have a light blue? Not really. Yes, I think that's going to work. Let's, now again, this isn't it mad, wild experiment. Wild. So decide if you like it first. So this is the Cobalt Turquoise, and I'm going to use that in the middle just to make it look a little bit paler. Watch first, see if you like it. It might not even work. It's not really showing up that blue, is it? I'm going to get some white on there as well in a minute, because it's gone a bit too dark for my liking. But I'm not going to use the Castle White because it's not very good. I can use a Prismacolor White. And you'll see it will just brighten that middle bit a little bit. Just be careful because it is very vibrant. It might go be a bit too much. And now I'm going to go back over that with the Cobalt Turquoise and just sort of spread it a bit. Oh, I've got some posters just come through the door. That's exciting. There's a rustly thing that sounded like a sort of jiffy bag. Ooh. I'm going to go and have a look, and I will be back. Hang on. Well, I'm glad I didn't rush and hurry to finish this page in excitement so I could go and find out what my post was, because it was very dull. It was a tax document. Whoa! And it was in a window envelope, which was what's made the rustly noise. How exciting. Right, we're going to do this little bit down here. Now I'm going to do these as little buds in, I've decided to do a sort of light purple. So we've got, I want to make it quite colourful. And these stems obviously in, I say obviously, they're going to be in a green. I'm just having a look at the purple. So we've got a really pretty lavender colour here, which is what I think I might use. Need to sharpen. Now because these are rounded buds, we want to try and emphasise that in the same way that we did here. We're trying to make them look a little bit rounded. So I'm going to start on the outside edges and put down quite a few layers. And then do less as we go towards the centre. And basically you want to build up the layers of colour, so it's the colour that you want, but it is faded more in the middle. So if the middle looks too pale, build that up, but then build your edges up again a bit more. You can just keep layering till you get the desired look. And we shall do the same. I've got this awkward ring here which I don't want to put my hand on. I'm going to try and keep my hand on the desk. I'm trying to think of which bit to do next as well, but I haven't decided on what colour to do these stems. I mean, this could be supposed to be the buds of the lily, but they're the wrong colour now. So I just thought they would look nice in a slightly different colour. So I haven't opened my exciting tax document. I think it's probably from Amazon. I sell some of my books that I've written on Amazon. As a freelance writer, I've also written books. So I get paid for those every so often. I don't sell many. and I sell them all over the world. So that's the Amazon tax return document thingy majiggy. Right, I'm trying to think of what colour to do this while I'm blabbering on. Yes, let's grab this one. So yeah, with Amazon, with USA, I don't pay tax. We have a UK-USA have an agreement that as long as you fill in a certain document, you don't pay tax. Prussian Green in America, only in the UK. So I do pay tax in the UK. I don't pay it in America as well. Otherwise, and I've actually written a book on how to fill out all the documentation to do that, because it's really complicated. But basically, if you don't have the right documentation, you pay 50% tax before your earnings are sent to you when you earn in America. So if you earn on Amazon or anything, and then or Google ads on your videos, and that sort of thing. Then once you've got your money, if you get past the tax threshold here in the UK, then you might be paying, say, 25% tax on your earnings again. And if you're in the high tax bracket, which admittedly most people aren't, you would pay up to 40 or 50%. So you may, if you're a high tax earner, you'd actually get nothing. You pay everything you earned in tax. So the UK and USA have, I think there's one with Australia as well, an agreement where you don't pay tax. I hope you can see what I'm doing. I'm just adding some darker areas where I think there might be shadow. So you don't have to pay tax in both countries, just the one you live. So that's what I do. That's fine. I'm not that keen on the colour. What colour is that? It was a Prussian Green. I want to lighten it a little bit. Just seeing what I've got here. I'm going to use the leaf green middle. It's quite a nice, pretty colour, and I'm just going to go over the top of it all with this. I'm just looking. It's quite blunt, but I think we'll be okay. Just go over the top of all of these tendrils, vines. Not sure what they are. Very pretty. I can't draw these to save my life. It's quite funny when Johanna does a drawing sort of video or book, you have a go. I just can't get them even. So they start off fat and then go thin, then go fat, blah blah blah. They just look really nasty. So we're going to do these leaves as well. Now we could again do them like we did these, as if they were buds, but I think we'll do those as leaves. I'm just thinking, actually, do I want to do them as leaves? Yeah, I think I will. But I'm thinking, let's go for a slightly, I was thinking, should we do them slightly browny? But then I'm thinking this isn't really an autumnal picture, so I'm not sure that's actually a good idea. Let's go for this colour. Yeah, let's go for these two. Okay. I'm going to start with Veridian. It's a colour I use quite a lot in Castle Arts because it's actually in quite a lot of their tins. So I'm not scared of using it and using it up because I know I've got lots of it. So you can see I use it a lot, Veridian. It's quite nice as a darker tone as well. Now we've got quite a little design on the leaf, and I'm thinking if we do the main part, this inside part, with this darker colour, then the rest of it can look like it's sort of sitting up a little bit higher and on sort of like there's a ridge on the leaf. I don't know if that would look realistic in any sense, but it'd be a bit different. So I'm just going to do a sort of darker bit around the edge like that. I'm not going to do it too dark. I know we've got fairly dark areas, but we're quite nice next to this really delicate flower. So I want to keep it reasonably pale, but I'm chosen dark colours, so we'll see what happens anyway. So again, just a light layer and around the edge. It's a really sunny morning. I was saying how cold it was, but it's sunny. It's making me think I should go out. I do need to go out really, but I'm making videos. So I haven't been out yet. I may do later. I'll wait and see. Okay, I'm going to use this one. This is the Terre Verde. It's quite hard to see. This is the sort of grey green. And I'm going to use this all over the whole thing now in a fairly light layer. And we'll see what happens. I would say this is a sort of sage green. I don't know what there's a colour like this in polychromas and in prisms. I can't remember what it's called. So I'm just going over the whole thing in this colour. I think it gets a bit confusing because all the different manufacturers have different names, don't they? But, just get used to it, I guess. Someone asked me yesterday, showed me a picture and asked me what colour it was, and I knew. They were quite impressed. But after owning that particular pencil set for about 8 years, you do get to know your colours. Now I want to do something else with this and I can't think what I want to do. I know. I want to get rid of this white paper look, but I don't want the colour really intense, so I'm going to use this blender. Don't know how well the Caran d'Ache blender works with the castles. We'll find out, won't we? Oh, looks like it works quite well. So when I've finished, you can have a look at the difference. See what you think. I think the Prisma one might work better. I might grab that in a minute for the next one. So you can see it's a little bit less papery. You can see less white paper without it being too intense in colour. I'm going to use the, where's my Prisma? Is that it? Yeah. This is my Prisma colourless. Use that one for this one. That's better. Seems a lot more effortless to blend. Now, the joy with blending is you can then add other colours on top. Whereas with a burnisher, which I happen to have here, it pushes the colour right down into the paper and you can't do anything else. So I'm going to go back and add a little more Veridian in certain areas. So I think I'm going to emphasise this edge again because it's sort of blended away to start with. I'm trying to colour on top of the black. I'm also going to add a little bit on this tip and here, just because I think it needs a little bit of something. And the same thing on all of them. Now, I think that these shades of green go very well with pink or pinky red. I'm going to show you a little trick, a little colour combo that I particularly like. Yes, we have got this colour here, Indian Red Light, and it's a sort of pinky red. And I am going to add a little bit onto this dark tip. on each of the leaves. And then just a little bit on the bottom of there. I just think it goes well, and it will help to bring it together with the flower. Okay, so what have we done today? We have done a fair bit actually, bits and bobs. So let's see, so we've done these and these, grasses and these. So yeah, I'm trying to straighten my book. My camera's really squiffy, makes it quite tricky. Is that in shot? No. There we go. So, oh now you can see all my pencils, never mind. So that's the next step. We'll sort of be working our way up. I've got no idea what I'm going to do with these, but we'll find out tomorrow, won't we? So thank you so much for watching. Enjoy your Tuesday, have a lovely day, and happy colouring.